Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Balinese beach babe herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
I'm heading there tomorrow. Or actually, when you hear this, I'm there.
Yes. So let's move right into it in the transits. We have a very big week. I won't get into every single one, but let's just go over quickly Mars squared Neptune.
Act with reason.
Sun conjunct Neptune.
Go easy.
Mercury conjunct Neptune.
Say, I think, or I'm not sure.
Sun square Mars.
Not sure about what.
Venus square Pluto.
Make zero promises.
Venus ingress Taurus.
She has landed. Steadfast.
Mercury square Mars.
Face the music.
And Mercury conjunct the Sun.
Clear as a ghost. And
with
more
to come. And the talisman times that are upcoming are all Balinese talismans. So make sure to clue in and figure out which Balinese talisman would best fit you. And on the horizon, we have our March forecast ready and waiting for you, as well as the recent astrology webinar all about Saturn and Pisces. Then in our house, Sandy is off to Bali, so let's chat a little bit about all of her preparations. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you.
Hello, Balinese beach babe.
Super excited. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, not on purpose, but just totally excited. And maybe my body is sinking into the time change that I will be.
Slowly, because technically you're like waking up at 5 p.m. there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just really interesting. When I was reading my skimmed today, it was like tomorrow, the day I leave, which we're recording this a bit early, is 3 years to the day that we got the international lockdown for COVID. And
wow.
Who would have thought that on that day when we had to cancel all of our Bali, because we were leaving in 2 weeks for the retreat back there in 2020. And who would have thought it would have been 3 years to the day that I'm heading back. And I'm just going early. You're allowed a 30-day automatic visa with a, most passports, but especially United States. So I'm taking advantage of this.
Awesome. We'll chat
the 30.
We'll chat more about that in our house. So let's move on. Going direct. Do you know, all of you listeners, we love to hear from you. We love your feedback. So don't forget to send that over. I have my email, alex@intentionbeads.com. You have, wherever you listen to this podcast, there's that write a review comment. And also, I have a feedback link that I can send you once you email me that gives you a little bit more in depth. It asks you questions. It talks about what do you love about what you just experienced or what you have.
Yeah, nice prompts.
Yeah, I would love to get some more feedback, more going direct from you all. So yeah, clue us in, talk about stories, talk about what you like, what you want to see, ask questions. This could even be a little question and answer time of what is a solar return? What is this? Why is that? So clue that in here and we're going to pick that back up next week. So in the transits, let's move on. Tuesday, March 14th. Well, before we get into each and every single one, this is a big week.
It's massive. It's huge. On the cheat sheet, it takes 3 pages.
Wow.
One day takes 3 pages.
Yeah, and one day has 5 transits in it.
Which is the Thursday, the 16th.
So let's start off with the first of the transits, which is Tuesday, March 14th, Mars square Neptune.
This is the third and final pass of Mars his dilly-dallying around in Gemini and coming to the 25-degree mark. He's coming out of shadow here, but he's making that square to Neptune for the third and final time. And we could be tired of this. Anytime we have a planet, particularly Mars, the planet of action and assertiveness and action, making a stress point to Neptune in Pisces is like, oof.
Right.
I know I'll be feeling that on Tuesday, although,
it's perfect.
It'll
for
be
jet
Wednesday.
lag.
It'll be Wednesday in Bali. But this is about act with reason. Even though there's going to be a tiredness about it, give in to the afternoon nap and not the bottle of blank, right? Not that. Treat yourself to a book or a container of water. Maybe it's coconut water right from the tree for me. Is it a nap, pool, book kind of day? That's my plan. It's on my calendar. This you may feel lost and anxious, but you can find control of your own darn self.
Right.
Don't act like either a savior or a martyr. Don't do the, oh, woe is me. Don't act like that. You have control of yourself. You have control of yourself. You don't have control of other people. So don't let them take your power or strength away. Just go off to yourself.
Right. So let's move on to the next one, which is Wednesday, March 15th, Sun conjunct Neptune.
Really, the sun is making his annual meetup with Neptune. So go easy. Go easy on me. Go easy on yourself. Face any realities as face value. Like, what is the truth here? Both planets, Sun and Neptune, of course, when they're meeting up, they're in the same sign. This is Pisces. So you may not want to face up to a reality check, right? That's kind of like blurred edges, blurred lines, if you will. But face the realities here as they are, not as they seem to be, not what they appear to be.
Okay.
Try not to make hills into mountains. And anybody that has a birthday on this day, March 16th, is actually having that 25-degree sun on your natal 25-degree sun with Neptune there. Remember that day for you?
Is this like the 15th, 16th? March 15th?
Sorry. That's Wednesday. Anybody having a birthday on March 15th or March 16th in that time frame will have the Neptune on your sun, which you'll get it. There's some people will never have that placement.
Right.
But this is asking you to be, obviously it's in Pisces. It's asking you to be more Piscean, more intuitive, more creative, more artistic.
Maybe listen to the Go Easy on Me Adele song.
Hey, that's a good one.
All right. So let's move on to the next day, which is the big day of the week, Thursday, March 16th.
Yeah, I've got this as conflict and astro interesting day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a big day. So
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Pretty massive aspects.
So let's start off with the first. Mercury conjunct Neptune.
All right. We start off at midnight, right? As soon as the day turns into Thursday, the 16th. Say, I think, or I'm not sure. Say a lot. Say it a lot today. Say it all the way and for all day Thursday into Friday morning when we get that, the Kazemi. Now, we'll talk about that later. It's going to be a dreamy, watery day. Maybe be emotional. Click your heels and imagine. And so the idea of saying, I think, because if you may not be sure of something. And so you don't have to act like the savior to have all the answers, right? To have all the problems solved. Because Mercury, obviously, if Mercury's moving with Neptune, Mercury's is in Pisces, and Mercury is in fall and detriment. I should know. I have that in my natal chart. It has behooved me in my mature years, but it did not in my early years. I thought I was stupid, dumb. I had to have special reading classes, comprehension classes. I always felt that I was, kind of
Under the water.
under the bar. But so that's why to say, I think, or I'm not sure, let me get back to you on that, where you don't have to say something that could be wrong and then you're held accountable.
Right.
Yeah. So don't.
And so the next transit, the second out of the 5, is Sun square Mars.
So here we go with some squares. Let's think about that. What are you not sure about? Where are you? Where are you going? Where have you gone? No need to ask others for advice, because you ain't gonna like what they say.
Okay.
Right? That square to Mars. Sun is the identity planet. So with the Sun as the identity planet making a square to Mars, that could be somebody coming in and, poking you the wrong way of a nag or an insistence, kind of. It could be very irritable. It could be like shingles, right? It could be like this irritable thing that's bothering you. So you're not going to ask other people for advice. They're not going to deliver it in a manner that you even want to hear. So don't offer it because you're not sure about it.
Right.
You can come to your own conclusion. Particularly, this is just such a day of, this Mercury, and then Mercury is combust the sun, and then he gets Kazemi on Friday. So, you have everything you need within yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a nice time to be, in
cluing
Bali
in.
all by myself. Well, I'm going to be there with a friend of mine. So.
Yeah. So the third transit, Venus square Pluto. Here's another square.
Here is another square, and this is at the last degree, 29 degrees. And actually, this is about make no promises. But you can relate to others' point of view. At least listen with a smile. That smile, like, you don't need to agree, nor do you need to commit. So for me, it's about what do I change about myself that I am able over a long 2-year period to change. And I say this because this Pluto, for the first time, is making a sextile to my natal sun. From the first time in my life, first and only time in my life. Because I have a sun at 29 Pisces. So for me, this will be, how do I want to change? And I feel like I've been doing some of that already to even be more rejuvenated, the whole life wave patches I'm on, and doing some of this kind of cleanup work on my body to be refreshed and renewed and rejuvenated. And I'm really, it's interesting that I've been wanting to do that for the last 6 months, and yet this is the first pass. So Pluto's been vying for me. So for everyone else, again, make no promises to other people. But you can maybe understand their point of view.
Right.
But don't commit or agree, because you still don't know.
Right. And for the fourth transit, we have Venus ingress Taurus.
Right. And this we're just at 5:30 in the afternoon. And she has landed Steadfast. She's here in her domicile. She is moving out of Aries, which is a place of her detriment, and she's moving into her preferred earth sign, Taurus. So she'll be here for 3 weeks until April 11th, which, is the end of the Bali retreat. So that is going to be just so beautiful. So find luxury in the earthly pleasures, which is what we're going to be doing with in Bali. And, I'll say this right here. I have one room left that I'm going to have to let go in about 5 days. It's not too late. I'm paving the way to Bali early. So, but this is really nice to really enjoy, the sensuous pleasure, a romantic art, just really enjoying other women, right? Because it's Venus in Taurus, and how we can be grounded. I know we're going to be doing we're going to be making some offerings of the land,
which is
incense.
It's such a traditional Balinese act.
And actually, what I also have planned is a cooking class to make jamu, which is considered Mother Nature's medicine in Bali.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue on.
Right. No, just so everybody find luxury in the earthy pleasures. See if you're able to get outdoors. Check out your garden. Are there any little shoots coming up? Go to the store and get your hyacinths and daffodils and tulips. Yeah. Get that kind of prepping for spring.
It is such a beautiful time. So let's move on to the final transit of that astrologically interesting day and the conflict day, which is Mercury square Mars. So, another square.
Yeah, another square. Mercury's pretty debilitated, right? And in fall here. So he just wants to be in the la land of mystery, magic, and watery realms with no borders, but yet he's squaring up to Mars. Now there's reception here because Mars is in Gemini and Mercury rules Gemini. So when we call about reception, it just means that one planet is making an aspect and in that other is the ruler of that visiting planet sign. If that makes sense. I just kind of explained it. But face the music here. Understand what is nagging you and how to come with grips with that. I just talked to someone yesterday and they said, wow, a scenario occurred, blah, blah, blah. It was really kind of a wow factor, kind of like, what? Is this really happening? But her comment was, I'm so glad it happened because it made me stronger. I didn't realize I was able to handle something like that, but it made me, I was already strong, but I'm now stronger in my mental body.
Right.
Knowing that I was able to handle that and come on and do that well.
And then that's exactly what a trial is all about, like those like challenging moments where you really find and showcase your character.
When you thought you could never go through that whatever situation or the fire, or you're not going to choose it, but when it chooses you, and you get through it and you get to the other side and said, wow, I've got what it takes to do hard things.
Right. And that's that whole square mentality. Like we all like cringe at the thought of like, ooh, it's another square. Oh, here we go, another square. But when we actually, compare the triangle to the square, the trine to the square, that's when the trine is easy. It just happens to show up and you don't have to do much. There's no character building there. When you have the square, true. That's when you really have to either make sacrifices or really overextend yourself or, fight. So, yeah. Let's go on to Friday, March 17th. Right. We have 2 transits that day, which is Mercury conjunct Sun.
Yeah, this happens at 10:55 p.m. I call this clear as a ghost because the idea of any planet going into the heart of the sun within a 17-minute, not degree, 17-minute of the heart of the sun allows for a clarity, a purification, a time when that planet is in the eye of the storm, where it gets kind of burned off any kind of residual pain or hurt or mold. And so with this entire Thursday, the day before, right, this is just really a good time where we can figure things out. So we don't have to figure things out on Thursday. Be in the mystery of it. Again, know that you have it within yourself. And then by the time we get to Friday, that's at 5:45 a.m. Sorry. But I was going from, because there's a time span on the Mercury when it goes into the 17-minute and comes out of the 17-minute. And that's from Thursday, about 10:55, that 11 o'clock p.m. until about 1 o'clock on Friday. So again, that gives us that, we can figure things out, even though we may not share it with anyone yet, because as soon as he comes out of Kazemi, he'll go back into the combust because he's leaving on the other side of the sun. So I know it's in Pisces. I know what I'll be doing, swimming and splashing, and I'll be making lots of noises.
Cool.
Right. So, and bringing this in.
And burning off the things that happened the day before, whatever happened. So the second transit of that day, Friday, March 17th, is Venus sextile Saturn.
So here we go with some sextiles. Venus is very happy here. She's in Taurus. She's in domicile. She's making a sextile to Saturn. We know Saturn has just moved into Pisces. And there's reception here as well, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, where Saturn is visiting. So this is a really nice common denominator kind of aspect where, Venus is the responsibility. It's her responsibility to bring grace and beauty to the forefront. Find the medicine that works for you and all your symptoms, and whatever those symptoms are, physical, mental, all those other spiritual placements. Is Venus is do something, and it's a Friday, so it's her day. So there's so much about Friday when we get to about 5:25 p.m. That brings kind of a goodness. Like, give yourself a little pat on the back, give yourself that flower, go buy yourself a flower or
pick one,
something, because you have gotten through a kind of a rough week.
Right. And the next day, and the final day that we'll discuss transits astrologically, is Saturday, March 18th, also the day before your birthday. But we have two transits this day, both involving Mercury. The first, Mercury sextile Pluto.
So Mercury is at 29 degrees of Pisces. So Mercury, this is all sitting right on my sun. So Mercury is at 29 Pisces, is in at the very last degree, looking backwards and looking at that sextile, that opportunistic offering to Pluto at 29 of Capricorn. So there's a true answer here. And this is Saturday around, 10:30 at night. A true answer, like you can get the correct answer. So use it and put it to work. The Mercury is kind of looking back going, no, he's about ready to leave Pisces, where he's in fall and detriment. It's almost that this Pluto, he's feeling like Pluto, the big powerful planet, is coming to help him out of this, water well that he has fallen down and doesn't have the strength to climb up. Pluto is offering his assistance. And sure enough, within the hour, Mercury comes out of Pisces. And Mercury goes into Aries. And this is where he dries off, right? At
Pretty
least
quickly.
He's out of the place of fall and detriment, where he's climbed out of the well he fell into, and he's resting to begin moving, but he's still combust, which means he still can't be seen. So in other words, he's still lost, but he's not down the well.
Right.
He might be laying on the outside of the well going,
like gasping. Right.
I'm out. Thank you, Pluto. Okay, but I got to get moving now. And still nobody knows where Mercury's been because he's been combust.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the final transit of the week
is Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ingress Aries. Duh. You just did them both.
Yeah.
So, and then to end the week is going to be your birthday on Sunday, March 19th.
Right. I go to, but however, I'm going to get 2 birthdays because I've done my solar return for my birth place, which is Cincinnati, Ohio, which is interesting because that's on my birthday, March 19th, at 10:34 p.m. So I'm going to do a solar return while I'm in Bali at that time to honor my birth at my birth place. But in Bali, it's the next day, Monday at 10:34 a.m.
The 20th.
The 20th. So I have planned, people might have seen this, but I have never done this. And I don't know that you have, but I'll ask you now. Have you ever had breakfast on the floating tray in a swimming pool in Bali?
No, but I've always seen the Instagram photos and all of that. But yeah, you're like in a beautiful pool with the jungle around you, all these palm trees, and then you have that huge tray with
breakfast or whatever you want. Like it'd be, but I'm going to have breakfast.
Yeah, that's cool.
At that 10:34 a.m.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to celebrate my solar return, doing something I've never done before and always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And remember too, that Saturn moving into Pisces, which he has. Mm-hmm. We got a webinar on that. Very keen. I'm teaching that in Bali, and what is that dream that you've never done that you can pull into reality? It's going to get easier now over the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. But you have to identify that thing and you got to work toward it. It's not like here's my dream that I want to pull into reality. Boom, it's there. No, right. Saturn does not give immediate gratification. Mm-hmm. So start doing that imagining on what do you want to put what do you want to catch? What do you want to put a box around? What do you want to cage and bring it down to you? Right. Yeah. So that's one of mine.
Go fishing for some dreams.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also have in talisman times.
A lot.
Tons. So no finished, but the upcoming talismans are all Bali talismans, which mean they're going to be made in Bali by you.
Right. There's none this week because we can see the tense squares and such situations with Mercury and stuff while here, which is going to be good to get away. Because I'm in one of my horary groups and they're like, oh, did anybody take a look at that middle of March? I'm like, yep. That's why I'm going to be in Ubud, Bali, Indonesia. Nobody can find me. Not even these planets. Because it'll also be right before Nyepi, right, in Uga Uga.
Right.
Nyepi. We'll be there for that. But the following week, there are tons. The sun moving into Aries, where the sun is exalted. Venus moving into Taurus, where she is in her domicile. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really good things. And some of these are happening during Nyepi, which is the day of silence in Bali. Mm. Everything is closed, including the airport. Everything is closed.
Yep.
You are not to talk. You are not to listen to music.
Right.
No electricity.
Right.
You cannot.
Not even a peep.
Nope. You cannot turn on your electric heat, to cook. Mm-hmm. Everything has to be done and prepped in advance from 6 a.m. on the day of Nyepi, which is March 21, until 6 a.m. the next morning. And this is what the Hindus in Bali are celebrating their New Year's Day. And the night before, they do that Uga Uga, which is a scary papier-mâché.
It's a parade of a bunch of monsters. Yeah.
And they're scaring all their ancestral spirits away that they had invited down 10 days earlier, right? Mm-hmm. And now they're saying, okay, we got your information. We got the wisdom that you are granting to us. Now get out. Go.
Right.
We don't need you to live with us. You've already been here.
Right.
And so they scare everybody, all the spirits away. And then the next morning, the spirits can't find them.
Right, because they want the island to be like uninhabited.
Yeah.
So that the spirits don't want to stay anyway. And it is one of the most peaceful days on the most peaceful island the most peaceful atmosphere. Just no sound. You barely see anyone, and it's just meant to be that way. And it's wonderful.
And we were there once for it, and we didn't talk. I might have heard a rooster or a cow moo, but nobody on the streets. In fact, the police walk the streets and make everybody.
No scooters, no nothing, no cars.
So I chose to be there again this year, and my friend who's going with me, she's never been to the Nyepi, and she's super excited about having
it's such an
very
experience.
reverent, a purposeful, reverent day where it's not just your choice, it's a must. And when you go to Bali, you do Bali. You become a Balinese, right? You do their ceremonies.
Right. Oh, and then what I love about Balinese people is that they love to share. You know, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not of this religion, or you're not similar to us and you're not able to do these. They really do welcome.
Yeah.
They do welcome anyone to practice with them, which is great.
Yeah, we've been invited to a birthday party and to, of course, the barnyard Uga parade. So, yeah, being part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the upcoming talismans, the Bali
we'll go
talismans.
quickly through these.
So the first one is happening on Nyepi, Wednesday, March 22nd, to have many opportunities to advance my public reputation.
My public persona as a successful business owner or associate is keen to attract and accept expansive measures to grow as my important self. Now, remember, I am going to make these during Nyepi with no music, and I will not be able to bake them until the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the next Nyepi talisman is to seek a higher belief in religion or spirituality.
My eyes, and therefore my mind, sees the elevated vision of what is possible. I weave cultural beliefs into my sacred practice. This one is key. So if anybody wants this as everything's up on the website. These are pre-sale talismans that we will be texting back and forth during this time. And you get to say what size bead you want. Is it large bead, small bead? And you can give me some colorations because I'm bringing a bunch of canes, right? And my cores and everything I need. But this one I particularly love. Right, to weave cultural beliefs into my sacred practice when I'm there during Nyepi. Right? Wow.
And the next talisman is Friday, March 24th, to gain every good thing.
Along with material security, protection during travel, and success in hunting for that which I desire, I am blessed. This is a third lunar mansion. This is beautiful.
Yes.
I try and get those as often as I can. They're probably the most beneficial lunar mansion.
And let's see. The same day and final talisman we'll discuss this week is to enhance fertility.
I am growing internally to prepare space, nourishment, and fortitude to produce a healthy pregnancy and baby. Yeah, this is a nice one too. This is Moon in Taurus, ruler of the ascendant, conjunct the North Node in Taurus, conjunct Venus in Taurus, conjunct the midheaven in Taurus, conjunct the third lunar mansion in Taurus. Woo! Yeah.
So, yeah, and more to come even that we'll discuss next week once we are back in Bali. Well,
in Bali, and I'm done with this first group of talismans.
Right. So on the horizon, we just finished up our March forecast and cheat sheet that is ready and waiting for you on our Patreon community page. Also, we just finished the astrology webinar all about Saturn and Pisces. And this is what we've been discussing about really manifesting your dream, about living your daydream, about really showing up and finding out what can we make material out of the fantasy or the dreams that we've had, the visions. This comes complimentary with your monthly subscription. We also have a 14-day trial if you wanted to try out Patreon.
Please.
So head over there, patreon.com/chattingwiththestars. we do have one last room left for the 2023 Bali retreat, and we will be letting go of that in the next 5 days. So if you want to just quick manifest that dream of going to Bali, here is a great opportunity. The retreat is April 1st to the 11th, and check out flights, figure out, going from wherever you are to the Denpasar airport, and see if it can be something that is real and winds up being right in front of you and around you in Bali.
Yes.
And another quick mention about our other retreat, our final retreat of 2023, is the Amargos Greece retreat. Mm-hmm. And we have been selling out very quickly. We are constantly asking them for more rooms. So give me an update.
I sold the last space a couple days ago, and we haven't even really pushed it out. We haven't even finished the one page. We haven't set it out. We talk about it here, and just through whether it's clients or those that have been on retreats with me before are jumping in, and I was like, oh my God, I'm already sold out there. And I called because I've been trying to get extra rooms, and they're like, not available. And they said, well, we have so they gave us an extra room. A room showed up. So now I have some spaces open.
Yes.
And
thank goodness.
Yeah. And these will go fast too.
It's a beautiful, I will be having the page ready very soon for showcasing what this Greece retreat is all going to be about. Mm-hmm. And so you can see the pictures of the beautiful bay that is right there outside of your balcony window.
It's a 5-star hotel, and I'll be teaching mythology in everybody's chart.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get to teach mythology, and what a better place than in Greece.
Where it all happened.
To teach
right?
Greek mythology in your chart.
Right.
So come along, come aboard.
Come aboard. If you have any questions, remember to email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. Let's move into our house, where you are off to Bali. I will be following you shortly to meet up and start with the 2023 Bali retreat. But before that, we had to quick celebrate your birthday, and I just wanted to give you a shout out because you look as vibrant and youthful and vivacious and, shall I say, sexy.
You can say that. I like that word. I got Venus and Taurus at my midheaven.
You had on a fabulous dress. Something that you wouldn't normally.
Never wear.
It had ruffles. It had polka dots.
And it was really short. And I'm 67.
And you had these really cute high boots, like above the knee boots. And you just looked fabulous. You had your hair done. You had your makeup done. And
well, I did it myself. I don't pay anybody to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You did your hair. You did your makeup.
Yeah, I don't do that. Even for a wedding, I don't do that. No, it was great. We celebrated a combo birthday since, yours and mine are always, yours is March 1st, mine's March 19th. Mm-hmm. And, our good friends, the boys, the guys, wanted to take us out to dinner, and I got to pick, you suggested this Greek restaurant. It was phenomenal. And I had this dress. I saw this dress, and I'm like, so not me. It was a wrap dress, and it came down really low, and it was ruffle, black polka dot on white, long sleeve. Anyway, I just felt it was such a beautiful, beautiful night. It just warmed my heart. We should throw a picture up on.
I'll try to get a picture in the description for everyone.
Yeah, it was just special.
Great.
Yeah.
So also, you're off to Bali. I can't even believe all of this is happening so quickly. But here it is, and you're all packed. We're getting everything, all the last minute things for the retreat, all in order. And how you feeling?
Good. I always feel like super, super excited. And then the week of travel, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have it in me, right? That kind of feeling. I did feel like that again this week. But now that it's tomorrow, we're recording this Here's my cheat.
I feel like there's always those like pre-flight jitters or like pre-trip jitters of just like, oh my gosh, do I have everything? Am I ready for this? Like, I wish I had just one more week to prepare. You know, there's always that. But once you're there, once you're on your way to the airport, it's like, well, no change in this now.
That's it. Bali has everything I need. And just the clothing, you know, because it going away for that long, you don't need, especially in Bali, there are no high heel reasons.
Oh, no.
There are no maybe sundresses, right? And Bali sarongs and yoga outfits and that kind of thing. But I started packing and I'm like, why? And of course, the whole thing. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And I never wear it. I'm going to wear it there. How many times have you done that? How many trips have you done that? Like, oh my God, this is so cute. It's gonna
right, but how many years? How many years? You never wear it. How many years have you done that for? Like, oh, I'm just gonna keep this in my closet, and you know, maybe I'll fit into it one day. And everyone says that, right?
Right.
And then you actually do, though. Yeah. You actually now fit into everything. So maybe you will be.
So anyway, I took some of these things out, going, okay, let me just make a maybe pile that I don't look at again. And I remember the very first time that I did pack for Bali when I first went there, I did overpack.
Oh,
everybody
of course.
Does.
Yeah.
And you realize, you know, it's tropical. It's a hot spot, right?
Right.
And I thought, and I bought a bunch of stuff and it's like, oh my gosh, this is not going to fit in everything. And so I offered some of my clothes that I did not wear, meant I didn't really like them, I guess, to some of the women there, particularly Susanti, Koman's wife, and they love Western wear, right?
Yeah.
They love the United States, you know, t-shirts
and we love Balinese
or whatever.
wear, let's be honest.
So, you know, I always make a deal now that if I don't wear something, I'm leaving it for the beautiful women there, and they're so grateful. Mm-hmm. Well, they're grateful about everything anyway, so.
Yes, that's true.
There's that.
Well, safe travels. I am so excited for you and so excited for myself that I'm going to be in Bali in just some few short weeks. And everybody listening, thank you again for tuning in to our podcast. It means so much to us.
And we'll be coming from I'll be in Bali next time.
You'll be in Bali. Yes. I'll still be here.
Our podcast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story of you.